are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Peace Fund Radio with Adrian Paul and Ethan Dettenmaier, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Goal! How was that on the weekend? That was rather disappointing goal for my team.
What are we talking about?
Soccer. What else is he talking about?
Well, I know
football,
we're talking about
depending
soccer,
on what part of the
but when
country you come from.
I mean, what game are we talking? Are we talking about England?
Well, wasn't that the one we were actually at the charity event we sat there on the weekend?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that was kind of the direction I was going in. Yes, but I've been watching it. Have you been watching the games?
I've been following it. Yeah, I've been trying to watch it where I can. I mean, it's very tough not to become a complete delinquent.
Oh, it truly is. It truly is. Yeah,
I could easily watch all 3 games every day.
But it's funny because this is what's really. I mean, you go past any bar right now, the games are on. It's not anything else. The games are on, and I'm like, wow, that's really interesting that it's that popular in the U.S. as well. Because but the U.S. did well. Won their first game, 2-1.
They did. It was exciting, and they beat Ghana. And Ghana, I think, is actually better than people. I love all the experts.
Ghana's a good side. Listen, any team that's reached this point in the competition has had to beat other teams to get there.
Exactly my point. I had that discussion where people were like, it was just Ghana, but I said, Ghana had to really crush quite a few people to get into this tournament. It's not. Ghana's not to be overlooked. Now, do I think the United States is going to take it all the way? Of course not.
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll have a good go at it. I don't think they've got the world-class ability to do that.
Make it interesting is my only request.
Listen,
make it fun.
You've got what you're supposed to do. What the World Cup does, it brings interest into the game. If you get more interest into the game in this country, which it will generate that because you're going to have every bar. I went to the mall the other day, and all the bars had all the games on, and people from every different walks of life and every different ethnic background were sitting there watching it. So eventually it's like, I think we could do that here. And I think that's true. I mean, you look at how many soccer pitches are up in the US now. Yeah. And what will end up happening is that means the minor leagues and the leagues and the professionals will all get better and better. They'll have more money. They'll have more training facilities, etc. And you will get better players. And I said this to my brother, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I said, watch. It'll happen.
The institution of a sport is a process. It's been going on pretty aggressively with groups like AYSO since the 60s, so hopefully we're getting to a point now where it's paying dividends. It is not obviously rooted in our landscape the way it has been in Europe and in other places, but, we're catching on. And honestly, these tournaments are great for the sport. This is why you do it. Look at the fantastic vibe this thing has.
Oh, it's awesome. Cup. It's awesome. No, it really is. I mean, and to have it in Brazil, in watching their game, I think they could go. Well, they're going to go. I think they're going to go to the semis or the finals. But that's where I think they will be, unless England beat them.
I am not really impressed with Brazil. Actually, shocking to say. I don't know what it is about the way they're playing. I thought Croatia, to some extent, unmasked them in the opening. I thought
that's
Croatia,
interesting. Yeah.
Although the score was clearly in favor of Brazil, as we all know, I thought Croatia really was able to expose some of their weaknesses in a way that that was supposed to be a complete blowout.
Yeah, I know.
And Croatia hung with them.
It happened 4 years ago when Spain lost their opening game and they went on to win the title. And this year Spain has gone on and they've lost their opening game and now they're playing at mid-lunchtime here, they're playing Chile.
No,
Chile, who won their first game, which is a game I think I want to watch.
That's exactly what I said. We said, well, how fast can we get to where to see it? We're already trying to plot. I think Spain-Chile will be fun, though. Those are two great teams.
Chile's a good team. I mean, and Spain is a good team, but I didn't like the way they played in their first game. They got totally slaughtered by the Netherlands, who actually, from what I saw last look, were beating Australia 3-2. Right now, that might not be the case. I think the game might be over by now, but can't say that anyway.
I have a lot of respect for Australia. I love the aggressive style in which they play. I'll tell you this, too, and obviously the show's not about this, but the Netherlands are a bit of a soccer juggernaut that tends to get overlooked in this mess. Remember, they went to the distance with Spain last time around, and this was the 4 years in payback. I'm sure they have had concentration camp-type scenarios in terms of hard-hitting tactics and practice and how to beat the Spaniards as soon as they knew they were going to open up against them.
Oh, yeah, I think there's definite, payback time.
Yeah, they've been. The whole country has been waiting for this, and props to Spain for bringing it together last time around.
Yeah, I know. I mean, as I said, you get your first game, it might not happen, and these things are. I watched one of the commentaries the other night. They said, and I think it was talking about Belgium, who played their first game, and it said, the more players play together, the more comfortable they get, the more they know how somebody runs off the ball, whether you're supposed to back off, whether you're supposed to go to them. You know the way that player plays, and the longer you play together, the better that team becomes. And that's the same with any of it. Germany, I think, is going to be a great team this year.
Yeah, they always are, though.
They always are a good team, but they had a very young team in 4 years ago, and they looked good then. Now...
Okay, I'm not an ESPN analyst, but... when Ballack went down with the injury and they replaced him, the team got much quicker. And everyone initially, when he got hurt, was like, well, how are they going to do it without Ballack, the captain, et cetera, et cetera. And I liken that to the Donovan situation this time around with America, which proved to be pretty much, at least against Ghana, correct. With Donovan out, the team looked much quicker to me.
Right.
Against Ghana.
Right.
And so I want to say that, very exciting things happening. I think the Donovan move, great coaching by the U.S. Team, although there's some diehard Donovan fans that are going to go berserk with that statement, but I think great coaching. And what a great event Saturday. That was so much fun. I know Italy won. I know everyone there was for England except me.
Yeah, you were voting Italy. I nearly strangled you. You were almost going to get
You did, actually. I got a photograph of you getting me in a headlock. Typical Adrian Paul cheap shot, but yes.
Excuse me, so let's talk cheap shots a second. We were actually at the event, and somebody brought out, which was very nice, it was like 3 people's birthdays around the same time, and one was mine, and one was... whose birthdays were they? It was yours?
It was yours. Well, yeah, you got the ball rolling because you just had a birthday, and then we included Mark Ryan and myself. I shamelessly included myself. And then Jay Rowe, and then obviously Sally Saffioti does a lot of radio time with us and a lot of charity time with us. So it was not only a great party in that sense, but it was a great event. And I thought the game was good.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the birthday because there was this thing about cake at the end of it. And you said, hey, let's just lean in here. And as we leant in, we got some cream in our faces, which started, of course, the next cream pie thing. And we have pictures of you with that mess all over you.
I don't even know
of
what
which
you're
you happen to
about.
walk around
several
for the next
Mai Tais
45 minutes with the cream all over your face like a badge of honor.
My badge of honor was in the Italian victory over England and all the Brits there, but walking around somewhat distraught.
You wait till England beats the next team.
Which is who? Who do they have? Let me go to my
Uruguay on Thursday.
Oh, Uruguay! I don't know how easy that's going to be.
That's not going to be an easy game at all. I think because Uruguay lost. I was hoping they'd play Costa Rica, to be totally honest, because Costa Rica had won and they're on a high, but that might make them sit back a little bit. But anyway,
Costa Rica, I was actually hoping for Ecuador the other day, too. I was watching that one on Father's Day at Casa Vega. I was watching Ecuador try to put it to the French. Oh, man, this has been such a good World Cup, and they've been scoring goals left and right.
Yeah,
gosh,
there's only been two drawn matches so far. One was the Brazil-Mexican game, and the other one, I believe, was it Russia and... I've forgotten the other team.
Did Russia pull a draw? Spain and Chile. You got Spain and Chile at noon.
Yeah,
and then, of course, my dark horse, Cameroon against Croatia this evening. I'm going to take Cameroon there to even it out.
Cameroon against Croatia. Yeah, that could be interesting.
Tomorrow you got another one of my favorites, Ivory Coast against Colombia. Yeah, Uruguay's got England. I'm going to take Uruguay in that one. And then Japan against Greece. But
you're going to take anything against England. This is where I'm getting really upset here.
Not entirely true, my friend. Not entirely true. I'm pretty sure England could take the LA Galaxy or, quite frankly, the Houston Dynamo if they were on the same field. Italy, Costa Rica. I'm going to take Italy, Switzerland, France, Honduras, Ecuador, Battle of Central America. This is going to be great. So I think the thing we needed to decide, and we've got a guest we need to introduce, but are we going to do another party for the final?
Of course.
Which is Sunday, July 13th.
Of course we're going to have to. We're going to have to.
Okay, I'm getting a fist pump here about doing it. So if I'm willing to do it, if you're willing to do it again.
Yeah, I'll be willing to do it. Actually, we had we actually had a signed soccer ball that's going to be from Mia Hamm this time that I was told the information. So we've got one of those soccer balls that are going to go up for auction next time.
Yeah.
And we had a few auction items this time too. But let's get on with the show because we're talking about soccer. We've been here for the past 10 minutes. I know it's important. It only happens every 4 years. But
it is important, and we have a veteran who survived that party with us Saturday, actually, who was part of the cause, part of the charitable cause, and part of a great time, who in fact had to won autographed Brazil soccer ball at the event and had to sign it before she could take it home. Had to sign it to herself. We're with our good friend Divinity Roxx, who's got an event tonight down in Inglewood, the only Rob hip hop concert, but also.
Yes, thank you, man. Thanks for having me back.
We'll be there.
Yo, the party was super epic. Why did Kat Dyson win everything, though?
I think it was rigged.
She won.
That is true.
She won every single.
What did she win?
She won
at least
tickets
3 prizes.
to the Disneyland.
Wow.
She won a shirt.
Yeah, and
she won a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And I think she won something
And I think my
else.
daughter picked at least 2 of those prizes.
Wow, that's very, very suspicious.
Yeah, I think
it
it
is
is
a bit of an illegal gambling racket. It does have that kind of vibe, that backroom kind of Vegas vibe to it. But I'm glad she won because we owe Kat a big debt again. She's involved with every charitable aspect we've done. She had to sign the soccer balls too.
Yeah, she did. She's pretty awesome. She's going to be playing tonight with me at the I Only Rock Hip Hop event at the Game Sports Bar in Inglewood. We are doing something very unique that I don't think LA has seen yet. We are doing live hip hop karaoke. So you from the audience have a chance to get up on stage with us. I'll be playing bass guitar. Kat, God's guitar player, is going to be playing guitar tonight. So you get to play with God's guitar player. We have an incredible band. We have a DJ. We have an incredible host. We just did rehearsal the other day, and it was so much fun. I mean, when you hear some of these songs, rolling down the street, smoking.
Adrian sings that one really well.
I know
exactly.
that.
So we're gonna do song. We're gonna do
song.
your favorite songs. Songs that when they come on, you know them when you're in your car and you're just sort of singing along and rapping, and you're sitting at the light, and the person next to you is looking at you like, really?
Let me do that shameless radio thing that I think people need to know that helps the event. When we were talking about Kat Dyson, she was the guitarist for everyone from Prince to Mick Jagger to Ziggy Marley to Seal. You were music director / bass player for Beyonce. So when we're talking about musicians playing, it's kind of like an all-star lineup that you get to take the stage and do karaoke with.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a great
I think that's
event.
pretty huge, actually, when you think about it. I mean, it's like, well, I get to play with all these musicians that made Beyonce. I mean, who was Beyonce before you were the music director? I mean, in all honesty, there was this little thing, Destiny's Children. What is it?
Destiny's Child Children.
Destiny's
Children. Destiny's Infants.
I know it's not plural.
I know.
For comedy.
It's pretty awesome. You're awesome.
But so this is actually very cool. You're joining us today on Peace Fund Radio because you're a notorious giver on the charitable front. Not only were you part of our charity gig Saturday where we were raising money for Mercy and Sharing and helping the orphans in Haiti, but you also teach music to inner city kids and kids who don't have a chance. Bringing culture to the masses. So
absolutely. Today's Future Sound. Tonight we are selling CDs, and we're going to be selling some different items, and we're going to be giving away items to participants who get up on stage. And you'll have an opportunity, too, as the audience, to make a donation to Today's Future Sound. We take our own computers, our own audio interfaces, our own equipment into a community center on the east side of LA, and we give kids an opportunity to learn music production. Technology has given everybody the ability to create music. So we want to show kids exactly how it's done. And you never know. You might have your next Dr. Dre coming out of a program
or
like that.
Or how about just somebody who can turn a negative into a positive, fame or not?
Absolutely.
In honor of my good buddy Coolio,
Coolio.
I'm going to do
I work with
Paradise.
I work with him,
I love Coolio. No, he's always a great guest on our radio show. And he's a bit of a chef now. We should have got him involved with some cooking.
That would be awesome.
What film were you working on him with?
This was, years ago. It was...
Okay, but while you try to recall the title, I got a funny little side note about Adrian Paul that I think most people will respect. During the party Saturday,
I'm worried here.
Michael Jackson's choreographer Eddie Garcia was there, among many others, and he goes, "I did a movie with Adrian Paul where he played a teacher by day but dancer at night." He's like, "I can't remember what the name of it was. What was the name of the movie?"
Dance to Win.
Dance to Win.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of an interesting tie-in because that was happening all day at that event. What a great crowd!
Yeah, there's a lot of time.
Everyone's like, "Wait, I worked
fun,
with you," and he goes, "No, I did this movie with Adrian Paul." But what he did say when he told me that is he goes, Adrian is fantastic to work with, which I know on a radio level and on a social level, yeah, you're a pretty generous guy. But to hear that about working on the set, very impressive. So Dance to Win, everybody. That's today's retro classic from the past.
You know what?
I'm
actually clearing out a lot of my data from like hard drives everywhere, and I was pulling up all the bits that were everywhere, and I picked up a Sheena Easton video that I was in,
which
way back.
Which one?
That was the Days Like These. It was a Sheena Easton video I did, and then Sheena came on my show when I had Highlander. She came on, so I was like, "Oh, hi!" So I clicked on it and went, "Oh my god, oh yeah, I remember that." And that was back in the late '80s.
Wow. So wait, you used to be a dancer?
Yeah, I used to dance.
Not used to be.
I used to choreograph too.
Really?
Oh man!
Yeah.
Let me give you a moment.
Cool.
Let me give you something in the MTV Hall of Fame. Right?
Yes.
Duran comes out with My Own Life. Great video.
Yes.
There's this badass matador in there that's throwing around the cape.
No.
Who do you think that is?
Leave me
Here's a hint.
I have
Divinity.
not lived
It's
this down in the
me.
year and a half
It
of this
wasn't
show.
me.
That is awesome.
It wasn't me. So who do you think that badass matador really was?
I
Right?
think we're sitting with him right now.
Yes,
It's
he
pretty
is.
awesome.
He is.
Do you know my next door neighbor came up and went, "Can you see this?" and pulls up his phone. He's playing the thing. I'm like, dude.
I play it religiously whenever I have a chance. I introduce him as that guy. I forget the Highlander stuff. Forget the years on Highlander. I just say, hey, do you know this guy? He was the Matador in My Own Way with Duran. But brilliant as always. So I'm sorry, Adrian. We're digressing. But we did help Mercy and Sharing Saturday, and I feel pretty good about that.
That's true, yeah. With the kids that we have in Mercy and Sharing. Mercy and Sharing is a great organization. They help the children in Haiti. They have over 150 children in an orphanage-style school, which actually helps them with medical help, educational help, kids that actually have infirmities that they can't walk, can't talk, have mental disabilities. And a lot of these kids actually get off the streets, and actually, because in Haiti, unfortunately, there's a lot of child slavery, a lot of sex slaves, etc. And a lot of these children are saved because of organizations like Mercy and Sharing that are down there to make a difference. So I'm glad the event over the weekend actually was able to bring a little bit more joy to these kids, because Haiti's a tough place. It's gone through a lot of different turmoils over the years.
Haiti's a tough place for sure, but the joy doesn't stop there, my friend, because Sunday, July 13th, we're going to try and raise more joy.
Indeed we are. More joy.
That'll be
noon
awesome.
for the World Cup final. Leave it to shameless soccer hooligans to plan a charity event doing something they would do anyway.
Before we get into that, I've got your website, your organization's website right now, todaysfuturesound.org. So
yes.
for those of you that want to check it out there, todaysfuturesound.org. I mean, how long has this organization been going?
They are an Oakland-based organization that's been going for a couple of years, and they've expanded down to L.A. So the L.A. chapter is brand new, and they're looking to expand throughout the United States. I think Atlanta's on the list, Chicago, D.C., but they pretty much started in Oakland.
Because we actually we also have an affiliate with an organization called Little Kids Rock, which is what is he doing?
No, I'm just. What
are you doing?
We had a listener shoot me a photo. I was just.
Oh
making sure.
gosh,
No,
I
don't worry
can't
about
believe
it.
that.
Look,
Right in the middle of our serious talk
I was just about to talk about
charities.
charities.
I even like the name of it already.
Little Kids Rock is basically an organization here in Los Angeles and across the country that actually give musical instruments to children.
I have a bass guitar I can give to you right now.
And I want to hook you up with them, because this is what the Peace Fund is also going to be doing, is actually bringing different charities, like-minded charities together to swap ideas and resources, not monies, etc. And we're creating a Facebook for charities to do exactly that, so that we can affiliate, and everybody, if we need to go somewhere, if somebody needs information, they can go there and find out if anybody else has the same problem or a solution to that problem. So it's going to be really, but this organization, big organization, has a lot of big musicians behind it. We had Cindy Cowan, who's one of the board members here, big producer in town. She's done a lot of movies, and I did one of their events. They have the kids. They basically give the instruments to the kids to stay in school. As long as they stay in school, they can keep the instruments. And these kids now are performing. They perform their own songs. And it's awesome to see how you can actually have a musical instrument that keeps kids and furthers their education or furthers their life, because education is power. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power. You know that. So
absolutely. And music encourages education, and it encourages power. You can have some kids who may not be the most popular kids or who may not be the most social kids. Give them an instrument and give them the ability to express themselves in a different way, and you have a totally different kid there. So I am all about that. And I actually was looking for an organization to give away a bass guitar. I mean, I have 13 bass guitars or 14.
Oh, I can get you.
I don't know how many bass guitars I have, but you can only play one bass guitar at a time. So I have these basses that are just laying around, and somebody should be playing them. And of course, being a woman who plays the bass guitar, I would love to give a bass to another young female who is aspiring to play bass guitar, and throw in a couple of lessons and jam, and just sort of help somebody come up into this music world. I didn't start playing bass until I was in college. I went to UC Berkeley to become a journalist and became a bass player instead.
Nice.
But
your parents must have loved that.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They didn't love it until my father came to see me on tour with Victor Wooten 3 years after I left Berkeley. I was on stage with the number one bass player in the world, pretty much, Mr. Victor Wooten, in Atlanta on his tour, opening for him at the Variety Playhouse. And that's when my dad was like, "Oh, you might have some, you might be okay. You might have something with you a little bit about that." And for him, it was amazing because nobody in the audience knew he was my father. And people around him were saying, "Man, that girl, man, she's good. Oh, man." And he's just sitting there looking around like, because I didn't grow up playing bass at all. So my dad, for me to say, "Hey, Dad, I just got this bass guitar. I think I'm going to come home for a couple years, for a year, really go forward with the music thing." I mean, I had been rapping and performing around town, but
we had a young man called Dalton Sear who was actually one of our heroes of the week. Each week here we highlight children who have done amazing things because the gamut is amazing. Dalton is a 13-year-old boy. He's already got 2 albums released, one or two albums, and he's got his third, or it's his second or his third coming out now. But what he does is he donates a lot of his proceeds, etc., to an organization that brings hope to kids in hospitals. And so the format of having music as a base to give inspiration to kids that don't have it is huge.
Absolutely,
it's huge because it's such a dialogue that you can have without having social or economic or any other boundary, because music is universal. It travels.
Absolutely,
it's like an action movie travels across the world because you don't have to say, "Well, my culture does this. This is funny. My culture, I do this." It doesn't matter. Music and action movies basically have that.
Music and action movies.
Action movies. They have a universal theme to them.
Absolutely. So, it's funny because as I traveled around the world playing music, the one thing that I noticed that everybody smiles in the same language. Everybody laughs in the same language, and it's beautiful. So yes, absolutely, music gives everybody the ability to smile and to laugh and to feel good and be inspired. Is this organization called Songs for Kids? Because I am also affiliated with an organization, Songs for Kids, that started in Atlanta, and what they would do is my friend would put together a band, and we would go to the hospitals and play music live for the kids in the lobbies and the parents as they're waiting, to go in the back and have their treatments or whatever. And we primarily played for a lot of cancer children. It was really awesome and beautiful to be a part of that. We played pop songs, we played children's songs. I mean, we literally would set up in the lobby and just plug in and play. So I was wondering if that was the organization that he was affiliated
that's
with.
not the one. It's
Dream Factory.
Dream Factory. This is John. Thank you, John. I knew you were sitting.
Where did
there.
That was very NSA-like,
talk
wasn't
to
it?
us?
That was very NSA-like.
No. You are being listened to. This is John Beerley. John Beerley brings us our hero of the week every week. John is in a little closet somewhere in the middle of Ohio.
He's
John
talking to us.
Yes.
Dream Factory. That's it. John, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing very well. Adrian and Ethan, good morning.
Ethan,
and Divinity,
I like that one.
Welcome to Peace Fun Radio. Glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, John brings us all a lot of extra information. He does a huge amount of work behind the scenes. We're trying to alleviate that little issue right now because there's a lot of work to put into actually contacting the heroes of the week, make sure they're coming on getting all the information out there, and seeing what they've done, and to sometimes we bring them on the show like we did with Dalton C. And Dalton, he played live in the music in the studio. Remember? And actually, Ethan was like, "I hope it's not too loud because the other studios might get." But he played. He brought his guitar in, played. And that's what he did, like you did. He goes into the hospitals and plays music as well as donating his time.
That's so cool.
So
I love how I just got profiled as like the big downer. It's funny because there are two studios simultaneously recording two shows, and when
it's true. No,
when there's an issue,
not.
They come to the producer of the show, not the star of the show. So it's when I said that, I thought, I wonder how much damage control I'm going to have.
You are actually
you're being
correct.
conscientious.
You're being conscientious. I'm not knocking you for it. We love you,
Then
Ethan.
what exactly was that?
Sorry, Ethan.
A compliment? I'm sorry.
Hold on a second. No. I'm going to call you Ethan from now on.
No, don't do that.
It sounds more
you're really
ethereal.
taking this England lost to Italy way too far. Okay, I had no rooting interest in that game. I'm just glad to see England got beat. But, I mean, you're really pushing it.
You know
you're
what?
Really
actually, England played well. Compared to what they usually play, they did push forward, and hopefully they'll continue to do it, and it will bring dividends eventually, because England played a certain way for years and years and years, and to change that way is really tough. And I think they're going to do well eventually.
Well,
maybe not in this World Cup.
You may get to see them again in July in the final. Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll be there in the stands, row H.
It's okay. Since I'm half Italian, Italy might go further anyway, so I might have to root for them.
Yeah, you
I
will.
wouldn't do that.
And he watches football just like the Italians, man. It was like the Battle of Libya all over again. They jump sides like that.
Easy.
That's awesome. Hey, speaking of July, can I have a little shameless plug?
Yeah,
I am playing the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn, July 2nd. So go to theknittingfactory.com, get your tickets. It's going to be a fun show. I'll be playing with a couple of legendary musicians. I'm still lining it up, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So July 2nd. At the Knitting Factory. It'll be a Divinity Roxx show. And my show is, I play bass, I rap, I sing. I'm the front person of my own band, which is rare to have a bass player and a female be the front person of the band. And we play rocked out hip hop music.
You need matadors for that?
I do need a matador, as a matter of
one.
fact. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about my sister. We were obsessed with the Highlander. Can I just have a moment?
Wow.
I mean, we were obsessed as kids. We loved the premise of the show and everything. And I have to take a picture with you and send it to her.
Divinity, we will now never hear the end of it. We will never hear the end of it around here.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to sit here and
see. He'll say that on the radio, but it'll always come up.
It'll come back.
My sister is going to freak out. She's going to be like, "Really? Oh my God, you're so cool."
Bring her to our event in July. We'll raise a little more money for Mercy and Sharing.
That's true. We should bring another. Well, we're going to do that again, definitely.
Yeah, she's a kindergarten teacher, so she would love to come out and be a part of anything that's
kindergarten teacher. All power to teachers these days, because the teachers today actually have less power, and to be honest,
Absolutely.
I think it's tough for them. I think teachers have a hard time, and for them to stay in school. We were actually talking yesterday with my wife about teachers get burnt out as well.
Yes,
they've been there for years and years. They get burnt out, and who does it affect? It'll affect the kids.
Absolutely.
That that they teach. And so some parents, if they're not smart, they send their kids to a school. One my wife was talking about basically said, these kids, the teacher had a great record. She had all these diplomas, all this stuff, but she was burnt out. So what do? Do they keep the kid in that school, or do they move them around? They move. If you're smart, you have to move, because you have to look at what the priorities are. I want to talk a little bit about what John's going to be talking about. You've got a hero of the week for us this morning, right? I want to talk a little bit about her. She's
we have
fabulous,
some incredible guests this morning. Their story is going to blow you away.
It's we're going to focus a lot on epilepsy today, which the facts are staggering. I want to give people a little bit of about what is epilepsy. It's a neurological disorder that produces sudden, brief surges of electrical energy to the brain. It's they're called seizures, which may alter their awareness, movements, or actions for a few seconds. That's what we were. It's not a single disease. It's basically a blanket term. A person who has epilepsy has seizures, but the cause and the type of those seizures can be very different. Now, John, I know you have a young lady that has dealt with that and actually has some amazing information. So I'm going to let you do that, because I've got a lot more facts here. But let's start with that.
Yes, well, on December 15th of 2004, Allison and John Scheinman welcomed their daughter Hailey into the world after 12 hours of labor. After another hour, they welcomed Hailey's twin sister Olivia, or Livy for short. 4 hours later, the doctors became concerned about some rapid eye movements that they were noticing in Livy, and shortly after that, Livy had the first of what would be a lifetime's worth of massive seizures. Hailey was walking by 11 months and talking up a storm by 15 months, but all these years later, Livy still has little control over her body. She can't speak. She suffers from multifocal partial epilepsy and cerebral palsy. She has endured 2 massive brain surgeries, the first in 2006, in which 2 portions of 2 of the lobes of her brain were removed. The second in 2009 involved completely disconnecting the left side of her brain, because she was having more than 100 seizures per day. It's a procedure that's done only in extremely rare cases where all the other forms of medication and treatment have failed to relieve the seizures. Her life has basically been nonstop hospital stays, rigorous physical therapy, constant testing, and yet for some reason Livy has made strides that should be impossible. And I think the reason for that is the bond that she shares with her twin sister, Hailey. Now, Hailey, along with her parents, John and Allison, founded a charity organization called Livy's Hope, which you can find at livyshope.com, Livys hope.com. And they have worked tirelessly to raise funds and awareness for epilepsy, to combat epilepsy in all of its forms. I could talk for 3 hours about all of the events and things that they have accomplished and still not touch half of it. But luckily, we're going to get to hear directly from the Scheinman family today. They'll be calling here in just a second.
So,
I think, Ethan, do we have them on the line yet?
I think they're on there.
Are they calling us, or are we calling them?
We can call them.
It's Skype.
Yeah, I understand it's Skype, but I mean, are we expecting the call, or are we making the call?
Let's make it. I'll shoot you the...
Basically, just so you know, the facts of epilepsy, it's higher in young children and older adults. It means that epilepsy starts more often in these age groups. Only 1 in 26 Americans will develop epilepsy at some point.
Of epilepsy, it's higher in young children and older adults. It means that epilepsy starts more often in these age groups.
Yeah,
I can hear myself on a feedback. Could you turn the radio off? Hello. Hello there. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. But I was hearing my voice being played back to me.
Don't be fooled. He loves that when that happens.
I like your voice so much, we have to play it again.
I'm getting
They're going to get
abuse
along
this
really well
morning.
with Ethan, I think.
It's all abuse. It's all abuse. Oh, dear.
We're all here.
Yes. Well, hi. Thank you for coming on the show. Hailey, are you there?
Yep.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well. How old are you? And Livy, how old are you? And where are you from?
We're both 9, and we're from Clearwater, Florida.
Clearwater, Florida. Is it hot and humid there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been down to Tampa, and then it's a lot of bugs and a lot of heat. I don't know if it's the same where you are, but. And how's Livy doing today?
She's doing well. She is very happy and smiley.
Oh, good. And since we first told our listeners about you and your sister back in November, you've been very busy, I hear, with all kinds of projects. You've got a special project you released in March, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
We did a video, and the message was, when you're struggling, you don't want to give up hope, and you want to keep going. And also, there's the ability to overcome difficult times in each of us. And also, giving to others helps people, but also changes you.
So you've got the video, and so what's the slogan, and how did you come up with it?
So the slogan is "Don't give up, give back," and it's not just the slogan for the video, but the slogan for Livy's Hope. And we came up with it because it tells people, it shows people what we've had to go through the past 9 years, and it's what we believe in.
So, how many kids? You started something called Livy's Hope Kids Crew. What is that exactly?
So the Kids Crew is a group of kids that helps other children with medical needs.
And how many kids do you have currently there?
Well, on our first meeting in March, we had 10 kids, and they were 10 of my closest friends. Then the next month, we doubled in size to 20. But what really surprised me is that this past month we got 50 kids.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, we have this every week. We find that, you know, things start small, but if you believe and you have passion in something, it will get bigger and it will go to people, because there are going to be a lot of people out there that think just exactly like you do. So, and I see that you recently did something special for wheelchairsforkids.org. Can you tell me a little about what they do?
Wheelchairs for Kids helps provide wheelchairs and other equipment to kids with special needs who can't afford them.
Jonathan, I read your blog on livyshope.com about the day your daughter was born, and it is a beautiful story, but can you tell her how you and Allison were physically and emotionally unprepared to care for a child with so many medical complications? Because, you know, I've been through that when I saw my daughter, my son born, to find that I don't know if I could be prepared, and how would you do it if... how did it affect you?
Well, you know, we having twins in itself, they're our first and only kids, so just having a newborn was hard enough in itself. So Livy having the seizure the first day, I think, really set the tone for the next I guess 5 to 6 years of our lives, and we had no idea what to do. After having a seizure, you immediately take to the web to look up what a seizure is, what could possibly cause it, and we consulted with doctors, and there's nothing that can prepare you for that. So it was really just a learning experience, and for a number of months, we were completely lost, and the newborn experience that people typically get just wasn't there for us. You know, on one hand, Hailey was great, but Livy was not doing well. So it was really a battle between those two factors.
How's Livy doing? I spoke a minute ago. She's doing better today. How's her condition now? Does it change for you at all?
Well, after her last surgery, she definitely has gotten better in terms of the seizure activity, and it's always a balancing act with the medications, and she's still on seizure medications to control the activity she does have, which she actually still does have seizures almost every day. But physically, you know, she has other issues too, because she has cerebral palsy as well, so she can't walk and she can't talk, so she does go through physical therapies, but she still has many issues. For instance, she has a dislocated hip, which a lot of these kids get who can't move around a lot. So, you know, she is an amazing example of how to have lots of issues, but still to love life and to enjoy and to just inspire people.
Mm-hmm. Does she have any surgeries coming up?
Luckily, no. At this point, she can't have any more brain surgeries because they've already taken out a good portion of her brain, so that is out of the question. But it remains to be seen physically what else she might have to have done in the future. So it's an ever-changing game, day by day.
So, Hailey, you in your kids' crew, you have you discuss different things at your meetings. What type of stuff do you discuss?
We talk about the events that are happening at the kids' crew. How the last fundraiser went, what the next fundraiser is, and also every time I make an agenda, so we talk about that too.
And it looks like you and the crew are helping a young lady named Lillian. Who's Lillian?
She is a 6-year-old girl, and she has cerebral palsy. I think she's incredibly cute, and she needed an adaptive bike, which is like a regular bike, but it's for kids who can't ride a regular one. And we helped raise money to get that bike for her.
So tell her this: if somebody wants to join in or help or anything, is there a place is there an area that people can go to? I mean, we can go to the website, but is there do you actually have any volunteers that come and help you to do things?
Well, sometimes we have volunteers to come in, and help out, with the crafts and projects that we do that day. And also, if you want to donate any money to the kids' crew, you can go to our website, and if you go to the kids' crew page on there's a big button that says that you can donate, and it'll bring you to our GoFundMe page, and you can donate there.
How old were you and Livy when you started Livy's Hope?
We were 6.
6. 6. I get ashamed when people tell me that. I wasn't doing that when I was 6 years old. What were you doing, Ethan? Were you doing? I don't know. 6 years old. Great. And you received a special honor recently. What was that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So there's an organization called Peace Jam, and they have a thing called 1 billion acts of peace, and they're trying to get 1 billion acts of peace around the world made by people, and they found our video, I Am Hope, which was introducing our campaign, Livy's Hope for a Cure, which was telling people that we were raising money for the Epilepsy Foundation, and that's what Peace Jam was doing too. And they saw that, and they highlighted us as an act of peace.
So I've got 3 other questions. One is for you, and one is for your parents. And one of all the things you've done, because you've done a lot of things. What makes you the most proud about Livy's Hope?
The thing that makes me most proud is that we're helping other people. I'm so happy that we're doing that, and also I'm really happy that we have the ability to make a difference in other people's lives.
And Jonathan and Allison, what's the biggest thing you've learned from your daughters?
Can you say that one more time?
What is the biggest thing you've learned from your daughters?
Well, I look at them every day, and they inspire me, and I think they inspire everybody they meet. So I think with Livy, it's that she never gives up on life, and she keeps a smile every day, and that's how I try to live my life. And I think Hailey has been the inspiration about helping other people. And she meets people and just loves them for who they are and is willing to give up anything she has for them. So I think those are 2 pretty big things that we've learned.
So what advice would you have for families like yours with children who require a lot of medical care?
Well, I think the first thing is to not give up. A lot of parents get discouraged about what they have to deal with, and I think the important thing is never to give up, and also to reach out to other families who have gone through similar situations. And also, there's lots of resources out online that are available to find, and I think that's great. And I think really it's finding a hobby that can keep your mind off of what you're dealing with, and of course, always giving back to people can really help you feel better and find a peace within yourself.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. Hailey, thank you, and to you, Livy. We will always promote your events on our blogs and on our site, Jonathan and Allison. I believe that parents are the ones that stand behind their kids and give them an example. So you have also given your kids an example, which I think a lot of parents should understand, that it's the parents that allow their children to step forward. Kids that should be seen and not heard is the thing of the past. Kids should actually stand up and do it, and you did it when your child was 6 years old, so I commend you. I want to thank you for being on the show, Hailey, and you're our hero of the week, so thank you very much.
And actually, Jonathan, you've got a big national thing coming up very soon, Lemonade for Livy. Can we get a little bit of information about that?
Sure. I'll talk about that real quickly. So Lemonade for Livy is really our first national campaign. And we're trying to get at least 1 lemonade stand in each state. And basically, as we get those lemonade stands, we're turning the states purple for the color of epilepsy awareness. And we've got 19 states involved, and there's over 25 stands. And there's going to be roughly 20 or more just in our immediate area because the Kids Corps are getting involved, and that's their next project. So it's a really big thing for us, and we're really excited, and we're really trying to inspire and raise a lot of money for epilepsy research, which will be given to the Epilepsy Foundation so they can really find a cure.
Well, thank you. We'll put that on our blog. John will do that. Thank you for joining us, and please keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us.
Bye, Hailey. Take care.
Bye.
Well, 6 years old. I mean, I don't know. What were you doing at 6 years old? I mean, I sit there going, every week,
Wow, that's incredible. That was so inspiring and so amazing. I definitely want to figure out how I can get involved with this organization. That's pretty inspiring right there. She's 9. I mean, listen to her talk about it.
I know.
She has so much passion about what she's doing, and that's what it's all about. That's why it's become so successful.
Yeah, and that's what I said online. I mean, when you have a passion for something, It doesn't mean, like I watch a lot of America's Got Talent and that, and these people go on and they think they've got talent and they got passion. But there's a reality and a passion. There's a different thing. But kids don't have a no button. When you're 6 years old, I can do everything. There is no. When we get older, we've hit life's barriers.
Absolutely.
And now we kind of go, well, I can't go around that obstacle anymore. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. Kids don't have that. So, we should be able to learn a little bit from what they give us.
Absolutely.
So, John, we're going to be we always run out of time on this show. I don't know what it is. Ethan keeps saying I need to do 2 hours.
We could. I really think we could.
That assessment is correct.
So, John, do you have anything else for us right now? I mean, I know we've got the paintball thing. We're about to launch the poster, the celebrity paintball competition. That's going great guns at the moment.
As always, to follow everything that the Peace Fund is up to, you can check out our website, thepeacefund.org. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, 2 accounts on each. The Peace Fund for general Peace Fund business, and Peace Fund Radio for news information about the show. Follow Adrian at AdrianPaul1. Follow Ethan at Combat Radio to hear about his Friday show, Combat Radio, which he brings on athletes and producers and actors and all kinds of incredible people to talk about the issues that matter to you. And there's no better time to get involved with our social media presence with the Peace Fund. We've got some incredibly hardworking volunteers who have just come on board over the last couple of weeks that have completely revitalized and reinvigorated our social media, and it's only going to get bigger and better as we move forward.
Yeah, looking at the behind-the-scenes stuff, I've been looking at what they're discussing now. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be able to put out to people, a lot of questions that come out from you, photos and prizes and things like this that we're going to actually be creating. So there's a lot of stuff that will be out there, and a lot more information and a lot more fun, because I think, even though you're helping people, you got to have a good time doing it. So, Ethan.
Yeah.
It's another 11:45. It's 15 minutes to the game.
I know. How fast can we get someplace? I mean, that's kind of that's our latest dilemma.
So tell me,
where can we go and how fast can we get there?
Exactly. Well, I know there's loads of places down here, but I've got to get to work. I've got my lawyer to talk about the Peace Fund Games issue.
That has like a complete ring of nonsense about it, but whatever.
A complete ring of nonsense about it. How?
You know what? I'll tell you what. You meet with your lawyer, and I'll text you periodically updates. All right.
I can't believe this. This is just.
Let me go to my app just real quick.
Which app is that? The Ethan Dettenmaier app.
Yeah, the app. Yeah, well, that would be an all-knowing, all-seeing app. But the app today that's going to give us. It's Spain, Chile, and you're going to be meeting a lawyer.
No,
we're going to watch the old colonial powers against the new colonial rebels.
I've got to go to the office. I've got to do some work. I can also work on the computer. I actually have my computer set up, so I've got the game running on one thing in the background, so I can watch it while I'm doing other stuff. So there are a couple of ways I can get around that.
I have a game you can watch. We can watch it live together. It's Sunday, July 13th. At 12 noon, the final.
Oh, the final. Yeah, we're going to have to watch that
July 13th. July 13th. Look for details. We're going to do another event.
So what? You've been doing. What inspired you to go and do? I didn't ask you this. I always ask, I guess, this question. What inspired you to get involved with charity work? I mean,
well, I've always been a believer that you have to give something back when you've been given so much opportunity, and I have been given a lot, so I have to give back. And I became involved with the Songs for Kids specifically because when I was a little girl, I had a blood disorder, and I used to go to the Ronald McDonald House in Atlanta, where I was treated, and I was treated along with a lot of other little kids, and people used to come and bring cheer, and clowns used to come and have fun, and we used to do all these things because people volunteered. So when I heard that my friend was doing the Songs for Kids, I thought I have to do that too, because I know those kids were me when I was a little girl. So
I think that's what it is a lot of the time. People have a direct connection to something, and that's why they start organizations, they start movements, etc., because they have a direct connection to it, and that's where the passion comes in.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to be. How long do we have, Ethan? We actually, what we're going to do?
Got about 60 seconds if you want to do a quote and a song.
So what we're going to do? Yeah, we're going to actually have one of your songs.
Yes,
actually. This is awesome. I get to close with your
part
song.
of it anyway.
We get part of it. Why? What happened? You don't have enough time. Okay. Anyway, let's close. Thank you for joining us this morning. I will hook you up with Little Kids Rock as well.
Yes.
And I'll hook you up with a couple of things, and we'll keep in contact as well because I want to do something. Anyway, thank you, Ethan. Thank you all the Peace Fund volunteers and John Bailey, Carmel McPherson, Beverly Shahara, all the new people, all our webmasters and all the great volunteers that have come on board. I want to finish today with a quote from Helen Keller. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. This is Adrian Paul and Ethan Dettenmaier. We'll talk to you again.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend. But then I look up in the mirror, deep inside, look at my eyes, there's no disguise. And I know there's something real powerful lying deep within. I'm a believer, destiny I've seen her. This is for the dreamers, the rebels, serenas, the ones who climb higher, push harder, the fighters, aspire for greatness to take down Goliath. This is for survivors, you know who you are. This is for the ones who decorated all your scars. Feel the fury, the fire built inside a fire, filled with desire. Pushing past all the pain will bring me higher, higher, higher. No pain, no gain. If you don't put weights on your weight, then you can't be great. So no shame and pain. Cause you gotta just push through, you can taste that greatness. Little bit of patience, a lot of preparation, or just a little inspiration to get you to the point you can taste it. But can you taste it? Well, tastes good, yeah, feel good. Doing what you knew that you always could. Living that life like you knew that you would. Looking in the mirror like, yeah, I'm good, yeah, I'm bad, yeah, I shine. Hate it look easy, but yeah, I grind, yeah, I'm fine. This is my time, get yours, I'ma get mine. Feel the fury, the fire built inside a fire, filled with desire. Pushing past all the pain will bring me higher, higher, higher. I'll ignite the light and shine bright. It'll bring us both higher, higher. We can be the change to the world.
You're listening to Peace Fund Radio with Adrian Paul and Ethan Dettenmaier, right here on LA Talk Radio.